Hey guys, so I've been sort of a digital nomad musician for the last 7 or 8 years. I don't have a steady apartment. I've been traveling around from different places in the US, a little bit outside the country, um, renting short term rentals, working remote, playing music. And so I'm just going to share a little bit about what the life has been and a few pros and cons. So yeah, I started once I got fully remote work. So I'm not a paid musician at the point of this video. So I had remote work. I started doing transcription and some writing gigs, and then I have one doing email marketing now. And if it's fully remote work in all those situations. So around 2018, I got rid of all my stuff. I was living in Seattle. I got rid of all my stuff, like all my furniture and stuff like that, and put the rest of my stuff in storage. And I didn't sign a lease for an apartment, and I went up to Canada for a few months and stayed in a really cool town called Nelson in British Columbia. And then for several years after that, I was going in and out of Seattle because had a home address there. I stayed with friends sometimes. I rented short-term rentals, furnished rentals other times. I whittled all my stuff down to a carload worth of stuff. So at any point, like today, if I really wanted to get out of where I am now, I could probably be fully packed and on my way to another destination to move somewhere in like less than an hour. Most of my stuff is musical equipment, honestly, because I'm a musician, and that's a big part of why I've been doing this. Um, so, there's different tools you can use. Sometimes I stay with family. You can use an app called Neighbor. Like if you're traveling for a while, it's like Airbnb for parking spots. So you like rent a parking spot from someone's front lawn or something, so that way if you travel, like let's say internationally for a couple months, you have a place to pretty cheaply park your car. I usually have a home base in the US where I have a storage unit, so that way, like if I wanted to fly somewhere tomorrow, I would just put my half carload or carload worth of stuff in my storage unit and then park my car somewhere on Neighbor, and then I could sort of go anywhere. um, Obviously the pros of it, like I've gotten to see a whole lot of the country. I've gotten to go on a lot of cool road trips around the US, like far northern California, driving down the Pacific Northwest coast. I've done that a bunch of times, and it's an amazing drive. And I've gotten to stay a couple nights in these little towns like Eureka and Crescent City and stuff like that in Northern California. So you sort of get to see a different world and different life that you never would see if you only had like your occasional vacation time, um, or that you just like fly somewhere for a week and then go home. Obviously met a lot of people along the way. Um, Traveling internationally, you kind of as a musician, it sort of influences what you're doing. Like I still sound like me when I record in an Airbnb in Argentina or Peru or whatever, but I can hear when I listen back to my recordings that like the stuff I was creating was sort of influenced by my environment. So that's really cool. Yeah, meeting lots of different people in different places is obviously a big part of it. Um, but obviously the cons are it's hard to have stable relationships, and you have to deal with a lot of uncertainty. I never sort of like my Airbnb ends on Friday where I'm at right now, and I don't even have a plan of what I'm going to do. Of course, where I'm at, I can just get another Airbnb for a month, and I can get that on Friday morning and just move in Friday afternoon. So it's not an emergency, but you do have a lot of uncertainty with this, and it's hard to form stable relationships if you move around a lot. And obviously, as a musician, I haven't really had a band. I was coming in and out of Seattle, as I said, as like a home base, and I had lived there for a while when I started nomading. So I had guys I was playing with, and when I would be back in town, we would play. But as far as like going new places, it's a little bit more difficult to like start a band and you know have it be a committed situation, because you never know where you're going to be. And you know you're sort of like, well, I could start a band, or I could just go to South America next week instead, you know? So there's always that novelty to pull you away from like really digging in deep wherever you are. And there's pros and cons to that, obviously. And you know, one of the biggest cons is it can be a really lonely lifestyle. Like I don't have any good friends where I'm at. I have friends here, so that's cool. That I see, you know, a couple times a month. But you know, you work from home all day and you're in places where you haven't spent much of your life, so you just don't have the rootedness that you have if you've lived somewhere for a while. So it does get lonely. So I don't know if I'll keep doing this or not. I mean, I like the freedom of being an independent contractor with my work, and I don't want to give that up. I'm looking for new sources of income because I need to right now. But yeah, that's sort of how I've been living. So yeah, if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments and I'm more than happy to answer anything. If not, I hope you like this channel and check out my tunes and stuff like that. Thank you.